He don't run, he walks alone. Built from grit, born in flame. He don't need gold, just earns his name.
Thank you for being patient.
Walks through fire with smoke on his breath.
Because I love that song. There's just something about it. If you hear the tempo, it sort of slows me down, gets me back to center, and it reminds me of the man that I've become. See, there was a point in my life where it was out of control. Moving fast, no direction. In 2001 of March, I was arrested and sentenced to 8.5 years in federal prison for being a drug dealer. And it wasn't being in prison that was the most difficult part. It was because I had 3 young children. My son Justice was 4, daughter Shauna and Darzi were 13 and 14. It was knowing what they were going through and what I've done to put them in that position. The guilt, the weight, it was the most pain I've ever felt in my entire life. And there was a point that I thought I wanted to end my life. I remember being in that cell. I was on my knees, asking for help, asking for guidance, and wondering, how did I end up here? And it came to me. Everything that I thought was important, money, status, power, it didn't mean anything. That if my life was going to end that day, it would have ended meaningless. But then it dawned on me, if life isn't about what I got, then it has to be about what I give. Similar to what the other speakers have shared. And so I made a promise that day. I said I was going to show up for my family. I was going to show up for my community. And it was no longer going to be about what I got. That if I was going to create a meaningful life, it would be based on what I give. So things started to change for me at that point. I went to church. I was in prison, so I couldn't really be there for my children, so I started taking parenting courses. I read my very first book. Never read a book going through school. It was Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within. Changed my life. That's where I was first exposed to real estate. You see, I went to a prison camp where there's no barbed wires, there's no fences. And I was surrounded by CEOs and hedge fund guys and real estate developers and investors, guys that growing up in Waianae, you'd never have access to. My roommate, the machine you use to test your glasses, the eyes to get your glasses, he was the CEO of the company. He was a medical inventor. And across from me was Jordan Belfort, who Leonardo DiCaprio plays in the movie Wolf of Wall Street. So being a kid from Waianae, I was surrounded by all this men building real business. And they're gracious enough to show me and teach me. See, I didn't have a system, but I had structure. I woke up early, worked out, read, studied. I took some college courses. And then when they transferred me to Alabama, I was able to locate a professor, because there was no college program in Alabama. I found a professor who was willing to visit me during visitation and give me my upper division courses. I slowly put my life back in order, just one at a time. In 2007, I got out, moved back into Waianae, my parents. Had nothing, but I had clarity, I had direction, and I had a promise that I made in that cell. I started to reestablish my relationships with my children. 6 months after being released, I bought my first home. A year later, I was up to 10. I remember having this mother with children come and rent one of my units, and she was sharing how she had just come off the beach. And when I saw that, I knew I was going to do this for the rest of my life. 10 turned to 20, to 30. Thank you. Yes. And then some years later, I was over here in Kaka'ako playing basketball, and I got in my truck, and I could feel something. I wasn't sure what it was. So I did what most people would do. I Googled it. And then it said, if you feel a pain or a numbness in your left arm, see a doctor right away. So I had to check in. So I checked in my body, and I felt, and I said, you know what? I felt a slight numbness right here on my forearm. I started driving myself to the hospital. As I'm almost pulling up, I can't breathe. I'm clenching my chest. I stumble out the car. I go to the woman, and I say, I can't breathe. They take me right away. They put me in a bed. And then I find myself surrounded by all these people. And I realized, I think this is serious. They hooked me up to the EKG. And then a doctor leans over. He tells me, Mr. Hewlin, you're having a heart attack. We need to get you into emergency surgery right away. First thing I could think of was call my daughter, Shauna. She answers the phone. And I say, Shauna, Daddy's having a heart attack. I could hear the fear and the pain in her voice. I realized this is the last moment I probably have a chance to speak to her. I tell her I love you. Then I hang up. And at this moment, I'm being wheeled through the hallway from the ER to the operating room. And it felt like it took forever. As if time just slowed down. And then I remember that day when I was in that prison cell. And I asked myself this one question: how did I do? Because this could be it. How did I do? And I said, you know what? I have great relationships with my children. I showed up in every area that I needed to. I gave as much as I could. I did as much of an impact as I possibly could. Then I said, Charles, you became the man you said you'd be. You did good. And then I was at peace. Fortunately, through God's grace, I survived. Actually, a side note, the one friend that came to visit me, I just ran into him back there, Kyle Shimoda. Thank you for visiting me in the hospital. Years later, I was able to meet my beautiful wife. Where is she? Brandy. I'm so blessed that she comes from three generations of helping the community of Waianae, and that we share a passion for Waianae. Together, my vision and mission started to get clearer. Today we call that vision the one big bet. It's the one thing that we're putting everything on the line for, and what we believe will change the community. And it's based on one belief: that responsibility is power, and that when people take responsibility, everything changes. And how we do that is through some of our development projects. We have some ranging from 4 to 128 homes, all affordable housing. We do that through our property management company, through our commercial buildings. How many of you have been out to Waianae? If you're out there, live out there, been out there, you're probably familiar with one of our buildings. That's where Lanterns is, Countryside Cafe. If you happen a chance to go out there, please go visit it. It's probably one of the most beautiful restaurants with Most amazing view of the coast. We also help the community through our nonprofit. I don't think many people don't realize this, but there's a lot of children every single day in the Waianae Coast that go hungry. And today, our nonprofit feeds every single child in every single school, from Nanakuli all the way to Makaha. And we're about to break ground on our $16 million food warehouse that will not only support our organization, but all 50 organizations in the community that help feed the community. I made a promise that day, and I lived it. Not perfectly, but I lived it. And that moment when it counts, that moment when it counted, when it was all about to end, and I asked myself, how did I do? And I was able to tell myself, you did good. You became the man you said you would be. You see, I don't think that people, and many of you here, have a problem of not knowing what to do. I think the problem is not doing what you said you would do. Because one day, you will ask yourself that question. And you will know your answer. Because either you lived it or you didn't.
Give it up again for Charles. My God, what a story. Man.